Okay, so the next I will be completing all the ventricles. I completed fourth ventricle. Now I'm going to start with third ventricle, and then I'll be doing lateral ventricle. So all the ventricles, there are two lateral ventricles, one third ventricle, and one fourth ventricle. So there are total four ventricles. I'll be doing the third ventricle. So this is the diagram of the third ventricle. What you are seeing here is the corpus callosum. This is the column of fornix, and here you can see this is the third ventricle. This is the fourth ventricle. This is cerebral aqueduct, and these are the parts of the boundaries of third ventricle, which we will be learning while we are learning the boundaries. So this is the cavity of the diencephalon. So diencephalon, that is the thalamus are present like this, and between there this cavity is present, and inside that cavity CSF is accumulated. So we are calling it third ventricle. Okay, and now this is the cavity of diencephalon, and it is lined by ependyma, which is ciliated columnar epithelium. In spinal cord, the central canal is also lined by ciliated columnar epithelium, which is ependyma. It is traversed by an interthalamic adhesion, okay, which is gray matter. Then communications, the lateral ventricle, that is, it is communicating with the lateral ventricle through interventricular foramen. This is the interventricular foramen. Through this opening, it is communicating. The third ventricle is communicating with lateral ventricle, and through cerebral aqueduct, it is communicating with fourth ventricle. Then comes the boundaries, the anterior wall. So the anterior wall, posterior wall, medial wall, and the lateral wall is here. Okay, so the anterior wall is formed by anterior commissure, lamina terminalis, and the anterior part of the column of fornix. So anterior column of fornix, anterior commissure, lamina terminalis. The posterior part is formed by the pineal gland, posterior commissure. Okay, so the pineal gland and the posterior commissure forms the posterior part. Posterior part is formed by pineal gland and posterior commissure. Then comes the floor and the roof. The roof is formed by the ependyma. Okay, it is formed by the ependyma and the tela choroidea. See, as you can see here, this is the tela choroidea of the third ventricle, which is formed by the anterior choroidal arteries, which you may see. So the tela choroidea and choroid plexus is formed by the anterior choroidal arteries. So that is present in the roof, and also the ependymal lining is present. And then in the floor, it is what all are present. The optic chiasma is present, infundibulum is present, then mammillary body is present, posterior perforated substance, and the upper part of midbrain. Okay, so optic chiasma, infundibulum is present, and then hypophysis cerebri, which is pituitary gland, and then comes mammillary body, then comes posterior perforated substance, and the upper part of midbrain is present in the floor part. Now what is present in the lateral wall? In the lateral wall, which we are seeing, this is the hypothalamic sulcus, which divides this into below area is called hypothalamus, the upper part is epithalamus. So it divides it into the thalamus into two parts, hypothalamus and epithalamus. Okay, and interthalamic adhesion also you can see in between them. Okay, so that is the anterior wall, posterior wall, floor and roof, and the lateral wall. Okay, so you have seen the three walls and all the diagrams. Now we are going to see the recesses are certain spaces which are present here. Okay, so these are recesses, certain thickening, which we have also learned in lateral in fourth ventricle, certain recesses like this, so which is extending to certain part. So now this recess, some of the third ventricle extends into the infundibulum, so it is called infundibular recess. So it is extending into infundibulum. Certain extends into the optic chiasma, that is optic recess. Okay, certain of it recess extends into anterior wall, so it is called anterior recess. Certain recess, there is a recess which is formed above pineal gland and into the pineal gland, so towards the pineal gland. So the one which is present above pineal gland is called suprapineal recess. Towards the pineal, near about pineal, neighboring that is pineal recess. So there are 5 recesses, and you need to write all these things if you want. Otherwise you can enumerate and just simply write towards infundibulum, optic recess, anterior recess to anterior column of fornix, suprapineal recess lies above pineal gland, and pineal recess towards the pineal gland, like that. You can write certain points, and then you can fill up your answer sheet. So this is going to be asked for short note, never going to be asked for short essays. This too short for that, but maybe, I don't know, because it is a ventricle, we don't know. So that's it. Thank you.